I know these are the most highly requested videos I get, are the classroom setup and planning and like talking through my whole process of like how I'm gonna do all this. Well, now I put my whole process in paper for you guys. Hello, welcome back to the Caffeinated Classroom. If this is your first time here, my name is Marie. I'm a high school English teacher in San Diego, California. It is summer, but I am back in my classroom with a couple of teachers helpers of mine. And I am making some plans about different aspects of my classroom that I'm going to be redoing. So this is going to be the first in a series of classroom revamp and update videos that I'll be working on this summer. If you missed my classroom setup series last summer, I will link it in the iCards and down below in the description. But basically last summer, I had a completely blank slate. I was coming back into the classroom after a couple years out of the classroom and 7 years total out of the English classroom because I was teaching drama. It was a whole thing. And I had all of these great ideas. I had all of this research and inspiration that I wanted to implement into my English language arts classroom. And so I did a lot of work. This summer is not going to be quite as intense because I'm going to be just kind of going right off the heels of what I did last summer because things worked great this year. Some things didn't work so great. And I want to make them better, or they could have worked better. You know what I mean? So I want to show you around a little bit and show you the beginning of the process, what I'm kind of creating. This past year I taught 9th and 10th grade English, and next year I'm going to be teaching 10th and 12th grade English. And just sincerely, the difference in size between 9th graders and 12th graders is enough to make me rethink my classroom setup. So I've done like a kind of a modified flexible seating arrangement in here where last year, and I'll show you right now, you can see I've got a whole bunch of different tables and everybody's in little table groups and they're in little pods all over the room. Next year, I'm definitely gonna still use table groups because I think that that is one of the best ways to make sure the kids are learning collaboratively and working collaboratively and just create that like community and culture in the room. But let me show you my plan, how I'm going to change it a little bit. Okay, so don't mind the mess. And here are my helpers. Say hi, guys.
Hi.
Eloise.
Hi.
Hi. Sweet girl. So rather than the tables being like in their own little pods and against the wall, I am figuring out how to create kind of like long family style tables like you would see at like a restaurant. So as you can kind of see here, and I need to do it where I can still accommodate a class of like up to 42 just in case, because that's not unheard of here. So rather than them being pushed up against the wall, I've just made one big long table, and then I still have my bar tables at the back that are the big tall ones. Wyatt has found Party Bingo and has been playing. Is it fun? Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I still have my tall 4 top tables. The problem right now is this little guy. I don't need it necessarily for numbers for seating, but I don't want to get rid of it and I don't quite know what to do yet. But even just like moving the tables like this and having like one big long one down the middle and then like up front having a little living room area, I might leave that table super low just like that and have like the seats around it. I kind of like the idea of this table low. This is the one, yeah, the one that you're at. This is the one that those chairs and the couch used to be around. But if I could find like wobble stools or something like that that are appropriate for high schoolers, or maybe even yoga balls. Ooh, that would be perfect. So that my kiddos could, well, I don't know, but then I fear, hey Wyatt,
What?
are there yoga balls in some, like big huge balls that kids sit on in some of the classrooms at your school?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and how does that work? Have you ever sat on one? Is it fun?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get the bounce on it.
A little bit, only when you're allowed to. Do you think, here's my good question, do you think high schoolers would throw the ball at each other? You do? Yeah, I do too. That's what I fear. Mommy might have to think that through a little bit better. But there are those cool stabilizer things you can put on the bottom of a yoga ball. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, there's like so much more space and it's obviously not done. There's litter everywhere. And then the other cool thing is then kids would be able to actually access the bulletin boards. On either side, we could have interactive boards. Yeah, so things are pretty different. Seating is gonna be the first thing that I really tackle this summer because I think that's like the foundation of how this whole entire room is going to work. I think I'm gonna do seating first and then maybe storage, something like that. But yeah, that's what I'm kind of working on today. And I will let you guys see the update when I have one for you. Wish me luck, it is a mess. Go, Wyatt. You're so strong. You can do it. Whoa. Oh my gosh, he did it. Yay! You just did it. You're doing great, baby. Okay, mommy's gonna come and help you again, okay? All right, my friends, so I'm back in my classroom and all of the things here are exactly as I left them. Hey baby, you're kind of like strangling me. Thank you. But I am excited because I finished something that I've been working on sooner than I thought I was going to, so I'm excited to show it to you. It is a classroom planner. Basically what I did is I took my process of setting up this classroom, like all of the times that I've changed things and moved things around and even just like initially setting it up last summer, and I broke it down into exactly what I thought about, and I kind of did it like after the fact. I did it retroactively, which was helpful because I was able to see really what parts of the process were like the most helpful and what parts of the process didn't really do anything for me. And what I've created is something I'm super excited about. And like I said, this is done sooner than I thought it was gonna be done. So I'm gonna make it, the day that this video is coming out, you can click in the link down below and get exactly the free little planner that I'm talking about. So I'm gonna walk you through like parts of it. I'm not gonna be using necessarily every single inch of it right now in this video, but I have definitely thought through all of this when putting this whole entire classroom together. So here's what it looks like on the outside. It's my quick classroom planner. Easily design and create your own unique classroom environment. Because, you know, I'm all about classroom community. My very first step to building a classroom community or any community whatsoever, even like the community that I've started online with you guys, is the physical environment or the space where we meet. So the space of this classroom is paramount in building that community that I build with my students and with the other stakeholders in their education. So let me just kind of show you through the planner, and then I'll show you the parts that I'm actually using. You know what, actually, because I think I'm on borrowed time and these two are getting a little bit, I'm going to show you the parts that I'm like looking at today, and then I can kind of talk you through my little plan for what's going on in here. And I feel like the most difficult part of this process is generally just getting started. So you know what, actually I am going to go through and show you guys how the whole process begins and then like where it goes from there. And like I said, this whole like planner is totally free. I made it for myself and then printed it out as I was coming today knowing I was filming so that I can show you guys just kind of like what it looks like. So I'll just show you the first parts of it, and maybe in the next setup video I can go through the next parts of it because otherwise it's like too much. But so the very beginning of the planner just kind of starts with like ways to think about the space in your classroom. So like the first page asks you to think like a student, and I lead you through some different things like what does a student's typical class period in your classroom look like? Because I think it's something that we vaguely think about, but like to be really specific and look at like exactly what it is to be a student in your classroom, and what is it when from the moment they enter the room until the bell rings and they exit, what is that like? I just kind of ask about like, and what kind of like work they're gonna be doing in the class, collaborative work versus individual work, and like thinking through that process. And then the next page is to ask you to think like a teacher. And obviously we're used to thinking like teachers, but like really think through making the space work for you and your specific teaching style. So like, how do you teach? Actively, like what sorts of lessons do you have on different sorts of days, that sort of thing. That's what I like to think through, because on different days I do different types of things. And then also thinking about like how you work. Like for me, I get a prep period every single day. Not everybody gets a prep period every day. Not everybody has the same amount of time for a prep period depending on the day. So like just kind of thinking through that and like what types of areas you're gonna need, and like multi-purpose areas and that sort of thing. Just to kind of get like the brain moving. It creates a little bit more clarity for an interior design, because that's quite frankly what we're doing. And then I move into like the areas of the classroom, and then now I'm going to start plotting the areas in my room. And so this is just a rough placement, because then we're gonna like go through other pieces of it, which I think we'll do in a later video, because I think I'm on borrowed time right now. Okay, I have my rough areas figured out here. And it's roughly the way that my room is already set up because I started doing this, you know, a couple weeks ago. But I just wanted to be like really mindful about all these different, in fact, let me go back and look at my classroom areas. Teacher area, check. Student materials, check. Classroom library, check. Like living room area, okay, fine. Storage, got it. Oh, cell phone pockets. I'm gonna say phone, arrow, phones, arrow. Just to like give myself a really good idea. And then here, I'll show you guys what it looks like. It is not anything fancy whatsoever. And those little X's are like where butts goes. But you can kind of see I've got like bubbles around like my teacher area just because I'm gonna redefine that a little bit, but I don't need to know exactly what that's gonna look like yet. And same with like my classroom library, it just has a bubble, and like my storage area has a bubble. But the big, huge pieces are placed at least. And this gives me a little more clarity, and I've got like my boards and everything kind of marked out in it. The next step is not necessarily what's going to be happening right now, but like even the next piece in my little planner I can show you is to start working through exactly what I have and what I don't have and what I need so that I can really start to put like things into place a little bit more. I know it sounds a little pessimistic, but I like to think through what are the possible issues so that I have a game plan for when those things, if and when those things come up, right? So the planner kind of takes you through that and then really like mapping things out past the rough plotting that I just showed you and like getting it all done. So I will be using this a little bit more further down the line, but I just wanted to show you like how the beginning stages and the planning goes into play. I'm excited for my next video a week from today that will show you a little bit more work being done in here. Yeah, right now I have 2 monkeys that I need to get out of this room because we have a busy day ahead of us, but I have some really good plans. It feels good to have this like written down on paper and to like start to see it actually coming together is a good feeling. And it'll be done way before school starts, which is also a very good feeling. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please take a moment and subscribe. Hit the little bell so you don't miss any of the future videos, especially the ones in this series, because I know these are the most highly requested videos I get, are the classroom setup and planning and like talking through my whole process of like how I'm gonna do all this. Well, now I put my whole process in paper for you guys. So click down below on the link so that you can get your hands on this little classroom planner, and I'll see you guys next time.